A lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
No. Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for Realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach Realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class, and it'll be out soon. I'm going to have to update that video because it's not just a class. The book is already out, and this is the book that realtors need to learn how to house homeless veterans. And this is in my bio. One moment, please. Let me turn this camera around. Flip camera. Okay. Uh-oh, not that way. Flip camera. This is what I needed. Oh, right. Okay. So my words were backwards on TikTok. Thank y'all for being here. So I was at the Capitol of Illinois for Lobby Day, and there were literally thousands of realtors because it was Lobby Day for realtors. And, you know, housing homeless veterans for the past 22 plus years, there's a few things that I know. And one of them that I know is that realtors don't know how to house a homeless veteran. Realtors, and I am a realtor. I've been a realtor now since 1996, January. And that's a long time. And I've been housing homeless veterans for more than 22 years. That's a long time. And when I talk to my realtor colleagues, they all say the same. They don't know how to house a homeless veteran, but they want to. They want to know. And it is, you know, we get commission because as a realtor, we move people. And when we move people to somebody's real estate, like this house here. Somebody owns this piece of real estate. So when we move them to that piece of real estate, then that investor gets paid. And that homeless veteran used a benefit that is awarded to him or her because he or she and they are homeless. So I give the analogy of eyeglasses as part of our benefits, right? So I can't see without corrective lenses. And I get all of my corrective lenses from the VA. The last few pair I've gotten from the VA. And they never told me no. They never told me no, that you can't have glasses because it's part of my benefits. I need my glasses, and that's, you know, a benefit. And we get a lot of benefits. We get federal benefits. We get state benefits, county benefits, local benefits, benefits through organizations, we get benefits. You go to a restaurant and you say you're a veteran, they say, okay, we've got a 10% off benefit, 15% off, you know? So we get benefits. Now, they don't come to us automatically all the time. Thank you for the hearts over there on TikTok. We have to apply for these governmental benefits, like the benefits from the federal government. We have to submit claims for our medical benefits, and we have to do all of that stuff. And it's a lengthy process of denials. I was discharged from the Army in May of 1984, and I didn't receive my benefits until 2019. So from 1984 to 2019, I had no benefits. None. Denial after denial after denial. And during a lot of those years, I was a homeless female veteran. And I would go to the VA to ask for help, but there was nobody equipped to help. So I would have to leave right back out of the VA homeless, just like a lot of our veterans who go to the VA today. And that's why I'm here still today after 22 plus consecutive years of housing homeless veterans. Because we still have homeless veterans nationwide. And I work with homeless veterans now in 41 states. Oh, it's ridiculous. And it's a simple fix. I keep telling, but no, you know what? Somebody told me that, you know what? The reason why it's never going to be fixed is because it's political. Now, let me break that down. Let me break that down. The mishaps in housing homeless veterans. Where's my, okay. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. And then you can go and retrieve the resources that I'm sharing with you. So it would behoove you to have something to write with and to write on. That's what I always tell my veterans. When you come here, you have something to, but we always give them pens anyway. And then our vendors would have a notepad. And they also receive this book for the first time. This is my book. This is the 3rd edition, Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. And it's in my bio. And it's also on. So anyway, I can't say that on TikTok. So it's in my bio, all of my library. I've got a ton of educational and books for you to read. You can go to my bio and buy whatever book you want to read to learn how to effectively work with homeless veterans in our community. It's so simple. It really is. But we were talking about the politics of housing homeless veterans and why this thing won't be fixed, or people don't want it to be fixed, which is ridiculous. Because if you are an investor, if you have real estate and you say, look, who's going to live in your investment property? You have to get people to live there and people to pay the rent. What better people to live in your property than a veteran with guaranteed rental income for you? That's who I'm looking for. So if you are an investor anywhere in the continental United States, including Guam and Hawaii, because I helped to get a veteran housed in Hawaii, and Las Vegas, and Charlottesville, Virginia, in Akron, Ohio, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Oh, let me get my book so I can finish going down the line. Well, follow me on LinkedIn and you'll see all the places where me And what I want to teach you, since you say you want to house homeless veterans, I can't be the only one. This is a lot of work. It is. We got a lot of homeless veterans. So this is my library that's open to the public. After 22 long plus years of housing homeless veterans, I finally wrote it down. I wrote down the steps for you to do too. So that's what you got to do. There was a commercial. I wish I could play it. If I could find a way to pull up that Instagram to play the tribute to veterans for me on Veterans Day by the Main Street, and this is Main Street Organization of Realtors, which I'm a part of. I'm a member. I received the 2025 President's Award this year. And then for Veterans Day, since I am a veteran, they did a wonderful tribute because I am also an instructor. I'm a real estate instructor. I like to teach my own classes though, because I really want realtors to learn how to make that money, because that's what it's all about. Realtors don't think that you can make any money housing homeless veterans. You just don't know where the money is. Excuse me. And that's what I teach you in this book right here. This is what I've been doing for 22 plus years, housing over 5,000 homeless veterans. And not just in Chicago, nationwide. In Chicago, and this is my third edition, Veterans Real Estate, Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide. What's the name of it? Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. I give all my books such long titles. Like this one, A Realtor's Blueprint, The Veteran's Path to Home, Navigating the Journey from Homelessness to Home Ownership. That's a long title, but you know what is exactly what the title says, that this book will teach you to do as a realtor. And you also get this book. They don't come together, they're separate, but this book teaches you along in here too. But this one really teaches you, because this was my first guide. And I said, you know, if other realtors purchase this book, it'll also teach them how to create workshops in their communities. This is my workshop that I created over 22 years. So this at the Vet Center and at the Jesse Brown VA, that's where these pictures are from. In 13 years, I took myself and my team to the VA and the vet centers. I was at the vet center, the Forest Park Vet Center over here for 13 consecutive years. At the VA, more years than 13, because I left the VA and they invited me to the vet center, gave me an office and everything. And I was also vetted by the government. So they fingerprinted me and background checked me. And then they said, you know, on the application, they needed references, and they actually contacted the references. So I got a badge, you know, and it expired. Well, not expired. The new administration, the Doge administration, came in and got rid of and I was a volunteer. I didn't even work at the VA. I'm a consultant, and my work as a realtor and a veteran, that was my advocacy. But as a realtor, I'm housing homeless veterans and educating veterans on how to use their housing benefits, whether it's to buy a house or if they have a voucher. Thanks for joining my club over there on TikTok. So if they have a voucher, so they need to know how to use these benefits. And that's what my workshops taught them for over 13 years at the vet center and 22 years altogether, more than 22 years. So, and that's what my library teaches you all. Uh-oh, I don't want to break my I don't want to break my president's award. So I'm going to sit her down. I got this like a few months ago. I didn't even know. I knew something was up, but I didn't know really. I didn't know what to expect. So I got an email, no, a text message from I think he's the president. No, he's not the president, the CEO of Main Street Organizations. And I'm like, I didn't even know he had my phone number, but I'm a realtor, so they can look us up anyway. And he said, Yvette, are you coming to the volunteer banquet? Because I also volunteer. I'm on a couple committees of Main Street Organization of Realtors. Well, one now. I had to step down from one. I was on the Professional Standards Committee some years back, and then I said, okay, I really, really, really like that committee because we hear a lot of stuff that realtors do in the community that they should know better. You don't do that. So we spank their hands and perhaps give them a monetary fine or a suspension or whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. So, and I really like that. Not that I'm nosy, but it is really to teach and educate. Well, not really. That was one of the things we said that should be done. As an educator, I think to educate realtors on what all of those complaints that we had to oversee, all of those complaints need to be put in a class so that realtors, they don't have to necessarily come to a classroom, but have that on demand when you can see, oh, don't do this. You see this? This is exactly what was done. And this is how you don't do that. Okay? Because some people think it's okay. Some realtors think it's okay to do certain things. And it's not. It's for convenience, or it's for malice, or it's just being lazy. Yeah. Those those sometimes some of them I did think it was malice. You didn't have common sense not to know to yeah. So would you do that at your own home? Why would you do that at somebody else's house? So things like that, they should be taught not to do. But this year I had to step down from that committee because it's a lot of work. It may take a whole day to hear somebody's case or 3 hours or 4 hours. And you're like, look, I got a client I need to show a house to, and I'm going to be with my face in the camera. I can't move for 3 hours. So, and then I came back into this side. Well, I didn't come back. This is a new side of me in real estate, in educating the community on what I've been doing for more than 22 years. It's been a lot. And I'll tell you why I never came on live to talk about my work in the community, in the public eye, put it that way, because I'll show you. I was already in the community at the VA, and all the vet centers in the city of Chicago, except for one, including Forest Park Vet Center, where I had my team and I were there for 13 years. Since 2013, I should say. And then at city colleges, this is my real estate investing group that I'm a part of, Renata's. If you'd like more information on that, let me know. And this is in the community right here in various municipalities. And when we take the workshops to the municipalities, I'll call my vendors and say, hey, can you attend? Because we're going to be in Dalton, or we're going to be in Riverdale, or we're going to be in Posen, or we're going to be in Richton Park at the VFW. So we're going to be a lot of places, South Holland, all of these Park Forest, all of these municipalities where I would take my team. But I would call, and my team, you'll see how to set up a team in this book right here. I would call my team and say, okay, we're going to be there for 4 months, once a month, and we're going to focus on this month property taxes. And along with that, every workshop has the home buying portion first. So the veterans will know how to use a VA loan. They'll know what to do to get a VA loan step by step. And then my specialty and all of those specialty information is also in this book too. From the attorney, what do you expect from the attorney? What do you expect from the lender? What do you expect from the home warranty? What do you expect from everybody who I would have come to my workshop and present as a professional in that area? And my veterans got to see and got to understand just how important it is to know about these benefits and how to use them. And it was so wonderful. For 13 years, I'm trying to find the flyer of the first one. 13, here it is. This flyer is dated October 17th, 2013, right here. 2013. This is 2025, right? So, in the last workshop at the VA, at the vet center, no, at the VA and the vet center was March of 2025. Until then, from then to now, y'all would not have known me ever, because I did not come on live or even make videos like this to share what I did in the covering of the federal government, the state, and the county, and various municipalities. My focus was always laser focused, and it still is, but now our community needs help, and it's bigger than me. So that's why I'm here to share it with you. I had housing homeless veterans, I had various illnesses. The first one was a heart attack. I had a heart attack in 2019. And I was on the hospital bed the next day on the phone with the realtor negotiating my buyer's contract. And the nurse came in and she said, "You shouldn't be on the phone." And I'm like, "Look, lady, I don't know if you know what I do, but I house homeless veterans, and I'm negotiating a contract for a former homeless veteran to buy a house. Do you know how big that is?" I said, "So I'll get off the phone when I'm done." I didn't even know who this veteran was until one day she came and she stood up at the Jesse Brown VA Medical Center, CRRC, and told that story. Because before that, I didn't even remember what veteran that was. I did that while I was in the hospital bed a day after having a heart attack. And we closed on that house. So it's things like that that you never would have known about. I don't go publicizing, I got a homeless veteran house. I would say things on Facebook. Yeah, I got 22 homeless veterans house today. Yeah, and people say, "Oh, congratulations, 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 congratulations." I'm a realtor. So I wrote a class back in 2000 and I want to say 2014 because of this. Because of this, because of these workshops and seminars at the VA. Let me get another book. It's in the book also for social workers and case managers. So this one right here was the very first workshop I did at the Vet Center. And this was dated August the 1st, 2013. August 1st, 2013. And then we turned around and they were like, Yvette, we have a lot of veterans who said they missed this. Look, Veterans Housing and Resource Fair, the first of its kind. The free housing and resource fair is for rental unit and purchases. Let me put on my glasses and face the screen. So it's for rental units and purchases, homeless, relocating, and transitioning veterans. That is in this book right here. This book was written for those who say, I want to house homeless veterans and I want to own the house and do transitional housing. That's this book. So you can get this book. Veterans in need of additional housing services, including but not limited to utility assistance. So I brought the LIHEAP, the CETA program, to Jesse Brown VA, and that letter is in this book as well. I like to show and tell. Now I do, but before that, I didn't tell y'all nothing because y'all didn't care to know. So that letter is in this book. It was written to me on October 30th, 2012. Yvette Jones, that's me, is an asset to many of the employees and veterans at the Jesse Brown VA. Miss Yvette Jones has recently worked with the community politician and has advocated for the LIHEAP representatives to come into the Jesse Brown VA to allow the veterans to apply for services. Many of the veterans who have low income and are limited on transportation are appreciative of this service. When veterans use the Medicars to transport them to the VA for medical appointments, they are able to benefit from the LIHEAP services that are now available at the VA. Because of me, because of my big mouth, because I know how much services our veterans are not receiving because nobody knows where to go get them from and then how to bring them. So I was doing that way back then without having any of this technological resources that are out here now. AI, okay? I'm the bomb.diggity.com when it comes to veteran services and AI. Ooh-wee, house veterans in Hawaii. You can't touch this, but now you can because that's in the book. I teach you how to do the same thing. Oh, I feel so refreshed now. So these are two workshops. This one was August 1st, 2013. And then we turned around because the director and the VA social workers were calling and emailing Yvette, when is the next Veterans Housing and Resource Fair? Because we have veterans who did not attend and they need that information. So this was August. We did a lot of planning, preparation, advertising, and turned around and had one in October. So this was 90 days apart. When we had it both times, I've got pictures, it's phenomenal. When we had them, veterans were sitting in the hallways. It was like a fire. It was a fire hazard. And this is a workshop that I put together for the municipality of South Holland, Illinois. And this one, another one, Free Veterans Housing and Resource Fair. And this one was Friday in November 7, 2015. And this was at the Thornton Township Hall. The Free Housing and Resource Fair and Forum, because after time I'm learning. After time I'm learning, people need to talk. And when we have everybody in one place and all of these vendors, every vendor needs to come up and state why they're here, what they do, and who they do it for. And come over to the table and get more information, and make sure you call them. And make sure you call them. It's a two-way street. So this workshop, the Free Housing and Resource Fair and Forum, is for housing, locating assistance for veterans, apartments, condos, and houses. And I had a few of my agents there who I trained over the years to house homeless veterans as a realtor and get a commission. That's in this book right here. Because these veterans are moving somewhere and somebody is paying their rent. Homeless, relocating, transitioning veterans and senior veterans, veterans in need of additional housing services, including but not limited to SSVF, food pantries, utility assistance, rental assistance, furniture and furnishings, cash paying veterans, HUD-VASH, and vets receiving other housing supportive services are all welcome. This was in 2015. These are housing fairs that I did all over the city of Chicago and surrounding suburbs, as you see here. This is South Holland. So the very last one, I think I have that in here. I hope I do. Oh, no, I don't. But this was the upgrade. This flyer right here, this over here, this was the upgrade. So that was the upgrade. So this was in 2024, but the last one was in 2025. So if you want to learn to do what I do, then go get some books and read them. They're all accessible. Okay, this is the last one that we did in March of 2025 at the Forest Park Vet Center. And that's in this book for realtors to get and read so that they can understand how to house a homeless veteran and get a commission. You know how much money we have in our community? We have these HUD-VASH vouchers that are paying $2,000, $3,000, $1,500, $1,000, and that's a 100% first month's rent commission to a realtor. That's how I get paid. And then if I do the paperwork on behalf of that investor, that's an administrative cost that investor has to invest and pay me. So, and that's just on the realtor side, okay? I'm also a consultant, and I'm looking for investors because I have a master class it's coming up. And my coach said, Yvette, are you ready to launch? And I said, yes. Even though I've never taught it on a stage like this, I've taught and worked with, over 600 investors, probably more than that, because it's been more than 22 years that I've been housing homeless veterans. To house over 5,000 homeless veterans, I had to work with a lot of investors with a lot of properties. And that's what I'm teaching investors how to do in this masterclass, and realtors how to help them do that so you can be the one getting that 100% commission. I don't share my commissions with anybody because I find the realtor and I get the veteran. Ooh, that's good. I was at the VA doing these workshops. I started the housing resource fairs at the Jesse Brown VA because I said our veterans are coming in here, and I had already been in housing. I had already been housing homeless people. I don't know, God just put me in places where all of a sudden that's what I need to know. I'm like, what? Why am I housing homeless people? I came from the north side, the North Shore of Chicago, where I first got my license, and that was my first brokerage. And I was housing professionals who were getting their first jobs, and their first jobs back in the 90s were paying them 50, 60, and $70,000, but they would come four deep. It was four roommates. This is in Wrigleyville, Edgewater, Streeterville, all of those North Shore communities. That's where I started renting on the North Shore. So I was used to the rents being $2,000, $3,000, 4,500 for a duplex with 5 bedrooms, and you have 4 roommates. They like, I'll take it. And my commission was 70%. I mean, it was phenomenal. And then I leave there and come to the South Side, and I'm introduced to a voucher. Well, first I was introduced to a social service organization called Lawrence Hall Youth Services. And I'm like, oh, so these are foster kids who were not adopted by the foster care system, parents who had them last. But because they were good kids, I guess, and they were eligible for further assistance after they left the foster parents' home, they would get their rent paid. They would have to be enrolled in college, and the organization, their tuition was paid, and they also had to get at least a part-time job. Oh, some of these kids were amazing. And by me being a former educator at the college level and the grammar school, I was a sub in the grammar school, but I was a college instructor for 4 years, and then a corporate trainer. So I always like talking to the teenagers, the foster kids, emancipated youth. We would talk about their futures and where they wanted to go, and some of them would tell me about their life, and but they had a place to live because that's who I housed in the properties that I managed. Over 630, it was 633 units, period. Then I started meeting seniors from another agency, and more seniors from even more agencies. And then I met a senior homeless veteran from one of the senior agencies, Access Living, and he was in a wheelchair. And I got him housed in a wheelchair accessible unit with one of my investors. So if you are an investor and you're looking to house veterans in this community, I need you to email me or go to my DM so I can invite you when I have my masterclass overview. Because we're looking for investors nationwide who want to work with the veteran population in housing. I've been on here almost an hour. That's cool. All right. So no, it's not 40 minutes. Let me come over here and thank y'all for watching and saying stuff. I'm gonna look at some questions on YouTube, and then I'll look at some questions on TikTok. I need y'all to keep tapping over there though. Thank you. So let me see. Ariel Herrera, what inspired you to start advocating for homeless veterans in the first place? I was a homeless veteran and I didn't have an advocate for me. So when I became a realtor, I knew how to house homeless people, and I found the homeless veterans community and I never left. Thanks for that awesome question. How can young professionals join or support this incredible mission? By going to my bio and getting some education from my library of books. My library is called U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resources Book Series. That is awesome, because there is no such thing as osmosis. So you can watch me every day and you still won't know what I do until you read a book. It's just ridiculous amount of information that you need to know to work in this community and know where the money is and know how to continue to work in this community as a viable option for veterans to want to be with. Really, if you're an investor, somebody wants to live in your place, if it's nice and decent, why not receive guaranteed money? So if you are an investor, get in touch with me, because I got something for y'all. Amazing conversation. Every minute matters. So, thank you, Cody. Eric Johnson, thank you for that clap of praise. How do you measure success when it comes to veterans housing progress? When they get someplace to live, when this is approved for them to move into someplace. This is Section 8 voucher, HUD-VASH, housing choice voucher, formerly Section 8 name. And then when they buy a house, if that's what they want to do. So yeah, that's progress, baby, progress. What's the one thing you'd love to see in federal or local housing policies? The housing bill that I just wrote, I rewrote it today, and I included, and I couldn't even print it out because we have a new printer and I haven't been connected to it. So, but it's a, hey, I got the old one right here. I have the first version right here. So it's the VetMentors, the name of my company, homeless veterans housing. And then this one was called Housing Protection Bill, but the new one, the rewrite is it's like the accessibility. So I've got to finish that up and pull out the Congress people who have supported veterans housing and supportive housing and low income housing and tax credit housing. Well, there's this key feature of the bill that I wrote will help these veterans, because we are veterans. I can't help everybody with this, but as a veteran who has a voucher, this is our housing benefit by the federal government, by the Veterans Administration. So that's why I can't include everybody when I talk about veterans. So veterans, when they have this housing benefit, they should not be told no, because that's like you telling me that you can't have glasses anymore. That's not part of your benefits, even though you have a prescription and you can't have it. Nope. Too bad. Here, can I take my prescription somewhere else and see? Yeah, you can. Nope. You can't use it. Well, I'm going to have to go someplace else because I'm still can't see. I'm still homeless. You go someplace else. Can I use it? Nope. No, you can't use it. You got bad credit now because all those other people done pulled your credit score down to under 450. No. And since we can't reach your old landlord, well, damn. She's been homeless since April of 2025. Follow me on LinkedIn for that new newsletter that's coming out with names and numbers. and all the contacts. This veteran who is holding a HUD-VASH voucher since April of 2025 in Charlottesville, Virginia. Her and her caregiver have been homeless holding this 2-bedroom voucher that would pay a little over $2,000 a month rent to an investor. Because who else owns a property? Who else owns real estate? Investors own real estate. You invested in that. You're responsible. You're making profit. Hopefully, that's an investment. You don't live there. You need somebody to rent that place. And that's what this does. This is our veterans allowance, housing allowance for being a homeless veteran, to help that veteran get back on his or her feet. So now he or she can go back into the federal government for educational benefits, for medical and mental benefits, for dental benefits, for compensation due to physical ailments that we incurred while in the military, disability. Now you graduate from college, you get your 100% service-connected disability. Now you can say, you know what, I can release this voucher. Another veteran could use it. I got my stuff going on now. And now you come and you find out about buying a home using your VA home loan. So you investor, you just invested in somebody's life. That's what you did by saying yes to this federal housing program for homeless veterans. So if you are an investor anywhere in this country, shoot me a DM with your name and email address. That's all I need. And I'm going to add you to a special list. So when I have my, one moment, please. When I have my informational, then you'll be invited. Because we're looking at HUD-VASH here. We're looking at a lot of money, a lot of money. And then we're looking at an additional over $900 million that's in our homeless veterans community. I'll read it to you and tell you. This one was released. This is was released August 27th, 2025. And go ahead and Google it yourself. Washington, the Department of Veteran Affairs today announced more than $818 million in grants to 235 organizations across the country to help veterans who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless. VA awards grants based on a number of factors, including the grant recipient's experience and past performance in providing supportive services to veteran families and the need in the area or community where the program will be based. Thank you. And this money, over $818 million, is for housing and housing counseling, healthcare, financial planning services, childcare, legal assistance, and transportation. And then that wasn't enough money. So on September 23rd of 2025, the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs announced it will distribute $84 million in grants to an additional 176 organizations tackling veterans' homelessness across the United States. So I need to talk to some investors. So if you are an investor, drop me your information, please. What's been the community's response to the advocacy work so far? Not a damn thing. I shouldn't say all the way nothing, because there are a lot of people, and I want to thank everyone who has purchased my publications. Last month, I sold 91 books. Thank you guys so very much. And it was a combination of the books too, not just all one. It was a combination of the books that people were buying in the community. Okay, let me see. And they were buying this one, and they were buying the one for social workers. So they're buying the one for social workers, case managers, human care professionals. But a few realtor guides have been sold, not too many. So that's why I say realtors, yeah, please. I have faith in you all. I do. I have faith in you that you want to learn how to house homeless veterans and get a commission. I was making six figures housing homeless veterans because I was the only one. I retained a whole first month's rent. So if the rent was $3,000, my commission was $3,000. Do the math. It wasn't always 3,000 because the veterans were moving everywhere, all over the place. So rents fluctuated. So a few people purchased the Veteran Care Entrepreneurship Guide, Finding Home, and also the veterans shared the guide to Veterans Shared Living Models book. And the third edition. So thank y'all so much. So 91 books were sold in last month. What was that? What's this? October. Oh, this is November. So October 91 and September 91. So I said, that's odd. And then there was another number. I said, that's odd. Those two numbers, 91, 91. The numbers have meaning. So I went and asked old girl over here, what do those numbers mean? For every region, for biblical meaning, for astrological meaning, for spiritual biblical meaning. I wanted to know. So the number 9 was the number of completion. You're like, that's the door closing, and then you're starting over at 1. So it's a new beginning. That's the number 1. And that happened 2 months in a row. And that's what this is. This is a new beginning for me. I never thought anybody would care to even learn how to house homeless veterans, because nobody was housing homeless veterans like realtors, and we're all over the place. We can knock this out. Realtors can knock this out. There are vouchers that haven't even been issued because nobody can find veterans housing. But it's so easy to do. You have investors who want to rent. They just don't have the knowledge on how this program here works. That's it. It's money involved that'll pay their rent. Listen to me. I'm going to show you better than I can tell you. I housed a veteran who was in a wheelchair. He's in this book for social workers, case managers, human care professionals, first responders, and everything is in my bio. So here's the case study right here, right? This is a veteran who still does a voucher. And this voucher paid $3,000, and it still does for rent. Well, minus his tenant portion now, because now he's 100% service connected, but he still lives here. This is a condominium downtown Chicago. Why can't vouchers go there? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. I have put several voucher holders in this same condominium building downtown. And none of the rents have been under $2,000 using this voucher. And these investors, they're like, I never knew anything about this. My realtor never told me anything about this. My realtor never told me about any of the programs to house homeless veterans and get guaranteed rent every single month. How do partnerships between not-for-profit and real estate pros actually start? By getting on my calendar and setting up a consultation and getting some books, because that's what I'm going to tell everybody to do, because I don't tell you what's in my books. You got to buy a book and read it. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much information. Great show, great message. This is what real advocacy looks like. Thank you kindly. Love how you break down the complex systems into practical tools that work. Thank you kindly. Matt, I haven't even seen your names. Thank you, Yvette, for your service and leadership. This is truly eye-opening. Yeah, it is. So go get some books so you can do something about it now. Thank you. Get a VA, the other butts about taking care of homeless veterans. I am one. What? Get the VA off their butts. I know. I already know. I already know, girl. I already know. Okay, so what y'all saying over here? Out getting the calendar soon, just starting an independent living facility in Georgia. Good, it's needed. So my books help you get aligned to government funding. So, I see a lot of people ripping and running, going around here and there, knocking on doors and getting all of these people out of nursing homes and care facilities. And, that's a lot of ripping and running. So my book, I did say I was going to read one of the models. I did say I was going to do that. I did say that one day. I said, I'm going to read one of the models one day. Okay, so I do a comparison in the book of 6 models. And these models are all in the book. So you'll know exactly what it is you may be leaning towards even more after reading the book. So the 6 models and the comparisons of those 6 are right here. And then also all have the contact information to everything just by typing in the website or just QR code, scanning it. I mean, this is everything in this book is all the different types of housing that I helped to administer or did myself or was in one myself for women. Okay, so let me see. What else do we have here? Hey, Marlene. I'm sending out, Marlene, I'm going to share with you what I'm sending out today. And I'm telling on a whole lot of people. A whole lot of people will be in this blast today. We have a homeless veteran in Charlottesville, Virginia, since holding a 2-bedroom voucher since April. And this is October. And they're outside in a tent with a voucher. That'll pay $2,000 for a 2-bedroom. But everybody is saying no because of the way that the market tells tells everybody what to do. But there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. A lot of ways to skin a cat. I have investors who only want to house veterans, homeless veterans, veterans in transition, and And veterans buying, when they're about to want a house sold, they'll call me. Yvette, do you have a veteran who I want to sell this house? I'm about to put it on the market. But if you have somebody, then we don't even have to put it on the market. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I do have somebody. That's just how it works. I sold a 2 flats. I mean, I sold so many, but I do recall one that I sold that way. And he said, "Bet you gotta be kidding me." I said, "No, I'm not." I said, "I know how your stuff looks, and I know what he wants. So you got what he wants." And we went by there, and it was he like this, Yvette. This is exactly what I was talking about. All I want is a black gate with the wood around the sides and the back of the building, and I'm good. And the seller, who was my one of my investor clients, he said, "Yeah, we could do that," because he owned a construction company. That fence was beautiful. That whole building was nice. Thank you for the hearts. So it's been wonderful working in this community, and I just apologize for not coming out sooner. It's liberating to be out in the public, out of the closet. I guess that's how this feels, because I never did. I wouldn't share, because I would talk to some people and say, "This is all you have to do," because I trained a lot of agents, about 50 of them over the years, and I can name just a few. Atara Moore, she's still out there housing homeless veterans. I saw her at Jesse Brown VA. I said, "Oh my God." I said, "I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you." She said, "Yes, Yvette, I'm trying to be like you." I'm like, "Girl, you gonna be better. Just keep it up. Keep it up." And Tyler, what's his first name? His last name is Tyler. Oh shoot, what's his first name? I forgot his first name. So I haven't been seeing him around on LinkedIn in a while, but he was another one who went and got his real estate license, and he worked under me back in, let me see, I was on 87th Street. Or did he come to me when I was in Woodridge? No, he came to me when I was on 87th Street. So I don't even know what year that was. It was a long time ago. And let me tell y'all something about the law, right? He had been convicted of something, and he spent some time in the jail. And he got a license. And he's a broker to this day. He got a license. Because I'm like, oh, and I asked the attorney, who was actually my managing broker, and I ran the show because it was my plan that brought all of the veterans and all of the investors to get matched. So, but he was still the managing broker and an attorney, which I really did need, because running that type of operation, I needed more covering than just somebody who said, "I'll come work with me." I'm like, "What you got to offer my business?" Because I'm not going out hiring an attorney if anything happens. The E&O covers so much, but still you have to have covering. So I would always look for a managing broker who was also an attorney. So he was my first he was my second managing broker and attorney. I didn't have to pay for everything was, but the first one, he was greedy. And I took my team away and found an office in the city, and then found a managing broker. And he was like, "Ooh, this is your revenue?" I'm like, "Yes." Everybody was getting paid. Everybody. Housing homeless veterans with the Section 8 voucher and other SSVF funding. baby, bye. So, and it's all in my, you want to learn how to do it, then get some books and read. So that was one quick story. I got nothing else. I've been on for an hour and 4 minutes on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And I just want to thank y'all for being here. If you have not clicked to like to share, please do that at this time. And I am still looking for investors who are interested in participating in this program. I have an informational coming out to introduce you to this entire program. And this is for investors and realtors. And realtors, if you have investors, then you want to have them on my commercial. I don't even know what it's called, but it took, and I have a coach who helped me do it. Because he said, "But you've been doing it so long, you have to do this, do this, do this." And when I got started, when I finally figured it out, it just started flowing. And it's like I was giving birth. And I like to go back and just look at it and fill in if there's anything I felt like I missed the first 3 times. So yeah, it's a commercial. If you're on Instagram, go to Main Street, all one word, Main Street Realtors, and you'll see the commercial that they made about me. It's so nice. So I'm also a real estate instructor. So they were highlighting real estate instructors, and because I'm also a veteran, they highlighted me as a real estate instructor who is a veteran. And what did I talk about? Homeless veterans. And I have my book right in the front so you can see the book, order the book. But I have not been able to get the board to understand that housing homeless veterans is real estate. How the hell do you think I've been working as a realtor for all these years and not getting paid? Who does that? I got so many awards from my office. The number one rental to the transactions award for the most transactions in rentals. Who does that in renting to only veterans? How many? Baby, bye. Oh my God. So many awards and accolades. But what does it all mean? I mean, yeah, you're acknowledging that I'm doing the work, but you know what? You can too. That's the whole point of it. I wrote a class, like I said, back in 2014. That was to teach realtors how to work effectively with the Section 8 voucher in Illinois, right? Chicagoland area. I taught it for all 2.5 years. And I just had to stop. I really did. I just had to stop. I said, these people here, it's ridiculous. And what they don't know is, as a realtor, you can really make, you're going to make your money while you're doing something good and feeling good about it and making your money. I mean, I think that was the most selfish part that I kept to myself, was how housing a homeless veteran just made me feel. I was a homeless veteran, and I felt shitty as hell as a homeless veteran. So I know how they feel. I know how they feel. And when I get one housed, it's like opening heaven's gate again, and everybody can feel that love and emotional. Even my investors, they're like, Yvette, we're changing lives. Yes, we are. We are. I have a female veteran who I housed. I was on my COVID bed, and she came to the hospital and she prayed over me. But 10 years prior to that, she was a homeless, she was going to be homeless that day if I didn't get her housed that day. And I did. And because she was, bad relationship, being evicted, the husband didn't pay the rent. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You can't be homeless in a car with a 10-year-old daughter. Where you gonna sleep? She said, I don't know. I don't have any money. But because she was connected to an organization that would pay her rent, I got her housed. With one of my investors, I made 2 phone calls. And the second phone call was to Todd. And Todd said, Yvette, I will meet you at the house. So I went to the organization because I was on my way home anyway, and the organization is before I get home. And I went to talk to her, and I said, okay, come on, I got you someplace. She said, what? Yeah, I got you someplace. So come on, get your stuff. Let's go. Come on. Because we had done everything we were supposed to do. Come on, let's go. Got to the place. Oh, it looked like a little cottage. It was so cute. Front room, you walk in the first bedroom, and then keep walking, the kitchen, the bathroom, and in the back was the second bedroom, smaller, because she called it a hobbit. The door is like a hobbit because it was short. I said, your 10-year-old daughter can sleep in this room. You take the room up front. What's the problem? And then she told me, she said, Yvette, I remember you grabbed me by my shoulders. I was shaking her up to tell her that this is only temporary. And she said she remembered that. And when she stood over me in the hospital bed when I was there with COVID, she was a doctor. Now she is doctor. So, and that was my wake-up call. Can you call the what? Can you call me soon? I have no, I don't call. You go to my DM and you send me your name and your email address. And then you want to do veteran shared housing, you got to go get my book. Can you call? No, you got to go get my book and read it. And then I will have you in my private class, in my private group, where I do more questions and answers based on what you have read. But I purchase from you is me from Akron, Ohio. Are you in the group yet? Did you DM me? Because I sent out an email today. So if you're in the group, you will receive that email. If not, go to my DM and don't ever expect me to remember. Hold on. Don't expect me to remember everything. So it's always good to remind me. And just Akron, Ohio, I got some Akron, Ohio. That's how I got the contract that I have now. Oh, I was going to tell y'all about that. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and jump off of YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Hold on, let me see. I was off lost my TikTok. I will check it out. I don't know what you just said. Oh my God. Oh Lord Jesus. Oh. Ooh-wee. Oh. Let me just boost off for a second. Oh, I gotta share my notes with y'all, so don't go away. I just have to. This takes a lot of, and people ask me, I was like, how can you house homeless people? And it's a lot. It's mental work. But for me, I do it because I was homeless, and I know it's It's a struggle being homeless. And then if you don't have anybody helping you, you still homeless, struggling. So we have a homeless veteran in Charlottesville, Virginia, 2-bedroom voucher. Please send this message out to investors that you know in Charlottesville, Virginia. Don't send me any management companies. Don't do that. I'm sick of these people. And that's the housing bill that I wrote. And also I've got 2 homeless veterans, one with the voucher. I had to follow back up. I told her to keep me updated. And another homeless at risk of being homeless veteran, Army veteran in New York City. So that's 2 in New York City. I hope that's it. And then I have another one who I referred right back to the VA. They referred a veteran to me who had a fire in his upstairs building, two unit, where his brother lived, and who put the building on fire. And he's downstairs living in that fire damaged building with 5 windows broken out on the 2nd floor, and the roof is still all messed up. And the social worker at the Jesse Brown VA referred him to me to do what? You want to move? Because what? Oh, he said, I can't move. I don't have enough money to move. He didn't even have insurance on the house. I can't make this up. But you refer him to me. So I said, okay, what I'm going to do is find the resources to hopefully get him the assistance that he needs to renovate the 2nd floor and the 1st floor. Because he said, oh, the building is old. I don't know. I should go over there and look. See if we could sell that building, get enough proceeds. What would he need? I sent him to a lender already to see what he's working with, to see if he can get a loan and how much would that be for. Because we could sell that building to an investor who's going to rehab it and do what they're going to do with it. That's wonderful. But get enough proceeds so we can go and buy him something nice. Because he shouldn't have to suffer like that in the building, and he doesn't even have hot running water. He says he's got to heat everything up. So I said, I got all these resources, sent all the resources back over to his social worker and him. I said, because both of you need to read all of these resources and figure out which ones you want to contact, because I'm not going to be calling people all day for everybody. I'm not a robot. So then we're waiting for him to finish up with the lender, I guess, because he didn't tell me he got anything. So that's what I do. And then we're under contract with a buyer who I sold a townhome to a few years ago, and now he's buying another one. And then I have a contract with a national organization, and I'll let y'all know as soon as they do the press release. And then Main Street video to teach agents. Okay, I got that already. Oh, I wanted to show y'all that. So I'm getting ready. Don't hang up over there on TikTok. Who's over here? Oh, thank y'all. I'm going to hang up over here on LinkedIn. They got tired of me on LinkedIn and YouTube and Facebook. I talk too much. I hope y'all took great notes. And if you have not liked to click to share to follow me, do so at the time and go to
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series. a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.